Max says making an Aura video and not having CR7 in it is a crime, my guy. Grabbing Rain says, before I even watched, I just knew Ronaldo wasn't gonna get mentioned. No CR7 or R9 is crazy. I have a whole video about R9 separately. And I also have a whole video about Cristiano Ronaldo separately. João Pedro Vieira Ribeiro says, video about Aura and no Ronaldo? Come on, man. First of all, let me address this. All these comments came from this video that I made about Aura in football, which was a part 2 to an original video that I made last year, which included Cristiano Ronaldo and R9. Secondly, I also have individual videos about Ronaldo and R9 that you can check out on the channel. But since nobody knows that I used to make videos last year that were probably better than the ones that I make now, they just comment stuff like this. But today, we're talking about Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, and his 2016/17 Champions League campaign. Because looking back on it and doing all the research, this is a campaign that genuinely needs to be studied, analysed and relived. Because this season was a landmark in Cristiano Ronaldo's career. A season that was so spectacular it almost needs to be studied. This should be a subject at school, because during this campaign he helped Real Madrid clinch a La Liga and Champions League double. But that's not all. It was the moments that he produced during all of this, with clutch performances week in and week out. Now in total during the 2016/17 season, Cristiano Ronaldo would score 42 goals in all competitions. Once again finishing as Real Madrid's top goal scorer, which was just the usual. Pretty much putting an exclamation mark on how important he was during this time. And at 32 years old, Ronaldo was carefully managed by Zinedine Zidane, Real Madrid manager at the time. Because this was when Real Madrid had a bit of squad depth. They had the ability to rest Ronaldo when he wasn't really needed. And despite this, Ronaldo would still score 25 La Liga goals and contribute at crucial moments, scoring a hat-trick in the Madrid derby against Atletico back in November of 2016. These were important moments that defined him during this year. And as the title race heated up in May of 2017, that's when you would see this guy step up again, scoring 5 goals in the final 3 games of the season, including a brace against Sevilla on May 14th. Then another 2 goals against Celta Vigo, and in the final game against Malaga, he would score the decisive goal in the game, pushing Real Madrid over the line and securing them the title that season. However, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about his Champions League campaign that said year. Now Real Madrid entered this campaign as defending champions of the Champions League, and they would go on to make history by retaining this title, becoming the first team to retain it in the modern era. And it was Cristiano Ronaldo who was at the heart of this triumph. Without him, they could not survive. With him getting 12 goals and 6 assists, 18 goal contributions during this tournament alone. People get that amount of contributions in all competitions in a whole season. This guy's doing it for one singular competition, and these were all in the important games, the quarterfinals, the semifinals and the final. And this season was not like others because he was quiet in the group stages, scoring just 2 goals in the first 6 games of the competition. This was labelled as some sort of drought during the time, but they would not know what was going to hit them next, because Ronaldo probably saw the slander and took it to heart. And with Ronaldo failing to score even in the round of 16, things were looking a bit, shaky for this legacy that he had created. At 32 years old, was Ronaldo washed in the Champions League? Was he not scoring in the big games where Real Madrid needed him? But then came a quarter-final versus Bayern Munich, where Ronaldo said, you know what? It's time. I'm turning on the engines and we're scoring some goals. During the first leg in the Allianz Arena, it would be Vidal that put Bayern Munich up, with a thunderous header that almost broke the net. Bayern Munich would be putting the pressure on and even win a penalty, which would then be skied. And with confidence looking low, Real Madrid would capitalise. And early on in the second half, it would be Dani Carvajal that put a ball skimming across the box into the path of Ronaldo, with Ronaldo picking it out on a half volley and putting it into the back of the net, bottom left corner, burying Manuel Neuer. And suddenly the momentum had flipped, with Javi Martinez getting a red card in the game and Ronaldo exploiting another opportunity that was granted to him. A ball whipped into the box and Ronaldo toe pokes it into the back of the net. 2-1 Real Madrid against Bayern Munich at the Allianz. But then Real Madrid take it to the Bernabeu and nearly bottle it all, with Lewandowski going goal for goal with Ronaldo during this game, but scoring only 1 goal via a penalty. But Ronaldo would be again on the end of one of these crosses into the box. A ball that was lofted in, he would dive in, header it into the back of the net and make it 1-1. Also now 3-2 on aggregate. But no, Real Madrid would still be playing against Ronaldo, with Ramos scoring an own goal to make it 2-1. And now it was 3-3 on aggregate. This game had to go to extra time. And what do we all know about Ronaldo during these extra moments in a game? He shows up. He's clutch, and he is going to be there when you need him. 105th minute, the ball is whipped into the box and Ronaldo is there, almost in, his own patch of land that he has just, put his flag down and said, it's mine, because no one was near him. He has enough time to chest down the ball and pokes it beyond the grasps of Neuer. He makes it 4-3 on aggregate and takes away the momentum from Munich. Then Marcelo has found himself in a 1v1 scenario, but puts the ball, across the goal to Ronaldo, who taps it into the back of the net. And a final goal by Asensio seals the deal and writes off the game for Bayern Munich. Real Madrid are going in to a semi-final. Cristiano Ronaldo had just scored 5 goals in 2 games against the German champions. And on advancing into a semi-final clash, Real Madrid would be put up against a familiar foe. A Madrid derby would take place in Europe against Atletico Madrid. And by this stage already, Atletico Madrid's fans must have already felt, this just deep, dark aura within them. They knew that something bad was coming for them, and it was, because Ronaldo, he always scored against Atletico Madrid, wherever it was. And in the first leg at the Bernabeu, Ronaldo would score within 10 minutes, with Casemiro putting in a floating half volley into the box and Ronaldo getting on the end of it and pumping the ball in the back of the net with his head. Then in the 73rd minute, Benzema passes the ball to the right hand side. Felipe Luis tries to stick a leg out. The ball bounces in the air. Ronaldo lets it bounce once, then blasts it across goal into the back of the net, making it 2-0. And to top it off, the ball would be driven down the byline and put across the box. Then Ronaldo would be there to finish off and score another hat-trick in another Champions League knockout game. This is abnormal. This is FIFA player career mode. You're playing on beginner mode and you're just getting your stats up. This is real life. This happened. He had completely ended the dreams of Atletico Madrid fans in the first leg of a semi-final tie, and they still had a whole 90 minutes to play. And despite them winning the return fixture, it was not enough, because Ronaldo had not just scored 1 goal in the first leg, not 2, he had scored a hat-trick. So Griezmann's penalty and Sal Niguez's goal was not enough to hold out this Real Madrid side. They were into a final against Juventus, and this Champions League final would be eventful to say the least. Just 20 minutes into this game, Dani Carvajal is bursting down that right hand side and puts a lovely ball across the box into the path of Ronaldo, and Ronaldo does not take a touch. He doesn't even hesitate. He just powerfully places the ball into the bottom left corner of the goal, beating an on-stretching Buffon. This is not any goalkeeper, this is one of the greatest of all time. Then on the other end of the spectrum, it would be Juventus coming back with a brilliant goal, with Mandzukic scoring one of the best Champions League goals in a final we had ever seen. An overhead kick from about 16 yards out that floated over the Real Madrid goalkeeper. Then in the 61st minute, Casemiro scores like a 35-yard screamer. And then just 3 minutes later, the ball gets put across the box and it's Mr. Inevitable with a late run that again just volleys it first time into the back of the net. Ronaldo had just scored 2 goals in this final, and to top it off, Asensio would score in the 90th minute. Real Madrid had just powerfully won this Champions League with honestly ease. And the man behind it all was Cristiano Ronaldo, aka Noodle Hair Ronaldo. And despite goals being scored by other Real Madrid players during this Champions League campaign, that is not what I'm here to talk about, because this was a phenomenal individual campaign by Ronaldo. Something that will honestly never be replicated in football history. To do what he did at these stages in the tournament, is unheard of. A quarterfinal, a semi-final, and a final. And these were games not against any small fodder, against the likes of Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, who were during their prime era, and Juventus, who again were in a state of time where they were just winning Serie A year in and year out. Ronaldo's 18 goal contributions tied for one of the highest ever in this competition. And to put it in perspective, Real Madrid scored 36 goals as a team in the Champions League that year. So essentially, Ronaldo contributed to around 50% of the goals. And this is why this season is so highly talked about and exemplified as clutch by a lot of Ronaldo fans and just football fans in general. That's why I probably get comments on any Aura video and generational run in football talking about why you should talk about guys like Ronaldo, because there's seasons like this where he's just done it all by himself. That is the definition of a generational run, or in football, and just all of the above. All these phrases that we use for all these other players, Ronaldo has been there and done that. Similar to Messi too. But in terms of dominating this competition, the Champions League, no other player has come close. And with all of this, I'm here to tell you one thing. This was not even Ronaldo's best season individually in the Champions League, because back in the 2013/14 season, he got 17 goals and 5 assists. 17 goals and 5 assists in 11 Champions League games. And despite that season being bigger in terms of goal contributions, etc., it was nowhere near as clutch as this season that we talked about in this video, because a lot of his numbers were inflated during the group stages. And because of that narrative, seasons like this came about a few years later, where he was talked about abusing the group stages too much and getting his numbers up. And then this time in the 2016/17 season, he just relaxed. He's sleeping, he's chilling while all the other guys are playing. And then when it came to the knockout stages, he woke up from the bed and said, alarm clock set for 5 a.m. I'm coming to every single Champions League game. I'm destroying every team that is in front of me. So you guys tell me, do you remember this version of Ronaldo? And also, what's another specific season in a footballer's career that we can make an entire video about, just like this one? This has been Jib Rules. As always, make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe. And of course, stay safe, stay blessed, and peace.